Burquitlam Community Association All Candidates meeting. Thanks everybody for coming out. We hope to have some good questions tonight. I want to thank all the volunteers from the Burquitlam Community Association. And I want to point out to everybody in the room, we have the community police station from RCMP and over here. There's a lot of volunteer possibilities and crime watch possibilities we'd like to get you involved in if you take a minute to look. Please everybody turn off their cell phones. Everybody take a minute just to check your cell phones and make sure they're off. We have washrooms that are out this door and to the left, just around the corner. And if we don't agree with the candidates' statements, we ask that you keep it to yourself, discuss it with them later, out of respect for them and the fact that they're up here trying to answer your questions. Okay? We also want to let everybody in the room know that the Burquitlam Community Association has a project going to get a community electronic bulletin board so we can announce things like this. We are looking for support for this. If you are in the position to be able to donate, we have a box at the back of the bucket. We ask for your support. I'm going to pass the meeting over to Cynthia and we'll go through the format and let everybody know how long the questions are, who we're going to be directed to, and how we're going to deal with that.
Thank you, Bob. My name is Cynthia Hamilton. I'm with the Burquitlam Community Association, and among the many hats that I wear, I'm the social media person. So for those of you on social media, it is me that you are talking to. Just briefly tonight, I will enunciate the questions as best possible, but occasionally they are not articulate, and thus I will not be articulate, so bear with me. We will be asking 4 people, directing the question to the first person, who will get 45 seconds, and then everybody, the 3 people after them, will get 30 seconds to answer any specific question. You will get 1.5 minutes for your opening. At 8:50, we will call for the closing. There'll be a 30-second closing for each of you. Again, a reminder, don't speak with the mic out here. We can't talk to you. We can't hear you if you do that. Keep it like a beer. Touch your chin, speak over top of it, and that way we can all hear you. Also, please keep the individual mics to your side of the table. So there's 2 mics, and there's a yellow tape there somewhere, and those mics should not cross that tape. When you have 10 seconds left, the lovely Teresa here, our timing person, is going to hold up a great big yellow thing telling you you've got 10 seconds left. That means wrap it up. And then she's going to hold this up. And when she holds that red one up, Lori back here is going to cut your sound. That's it. We are ruthless here. Ruthless. So 10 seconds. And last but not least, and I didn't think I would have to say this to the candidates, but I will say this to the candidates as well as the audience. No heckling, please. Presume goodwill. Let's try and remember that it isn't easy to put your name forward and stand up there in front of all of your friends and neighbors. It's not an easy task. So if you got something to say, please keep it to yourself or ask the candidate afterwards, okay? Don't, for all of you men who have had it, don't make me give you the wife look, okay? So, with all of that in mind, we're going to get started. We're going to start with Carol over here, and we'll start with a 1.5 minute opening, and we're just going to pass the mic down. When it gets to halfway, then we'll take over with the next mic and continue passing it down. You guys can figure it out. Thank you very much. Press the little button so it shows green. Test.
Good evening. Thank you for coming out this evening. My name is Carol Cahoon, and I'm running for School Board Trustee in Coquitlam. I have been a resident of the Tri-Cities for over 18 years with my husband, and both my children are currently in the system. My son's in grade 7 here at Banting, and my daughter is in grade 9 at Charles Best. During their public schooling, I have been volunteering on parent advisory committees, school planning committees, District Parent Advisory Council, and elected chairperson of the Montessori Society. I'm also an accountant for our small family business, and I teach piano on the side. I don't know how I fit it all in, but it seems to work. I want to run for school trustee because I want to be a part of a team that brings greater fiscal accountability and reduces the deficit that we currently are experiencing. I also want to be a voice and an advocate and work with all stakeholders involved with the system: teachers, principals, parents, families, communities, and the City Hall, and especially the students. I want you to consider me for school trustee in the new year and vote for me on November 15th. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Barb Hobson. I moved my family to Coquitlam in 1979 because of the school system and the excellent reputation of School District 43, which it continues to maintain. Recently, however, I watched as our school district reported an ever-increasing deficit. Here's what I believe we need: an effective and transparent finance committee that reports out to the full board at every board meeting, a whistleblower policy so staff have a safe mechanism to alert someone if they believe a harmful act has been committed, additional lobbying of the provincial government to deal with funding challenges, a full, complete organizational review. While teachers and support staff in the classroom must be our primary focus, it is also vital to have the infrastructure in place to support these essential roles. I was a school trustee from 1996 until 2002, spent 3 years as board chair, 2 years as chair of the Audit and Finance Committee, and I continue to serve on the District Student Services Advisory Council. Throughout my career years, I worked in a variety of fields, including small business, high tech, and education, and eventually retired from BCIT. My name is Barb Hobson. I'm asking for your support on November 15th. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Diane Sowden, and I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I'm running for school trustee. I have lived in Burquitlam for the last 30 years, and previous to that, I lived in Port Moody for 7 years. I was an owner-operator of a local business for over 25 years, and the reason I'm mentioning that is because I employed many of the students in this district. Since 1995, I have been the executive director of a local nonprofit that I founded, Children of the Street Society, which provides services for youth and their families. Due to this role, I have spent thousands of hours in classrooms in this district in the past 19 years. I have 1 child currently attending school, and I have 7 who have completed their public education in School District 43. I have had the privilege of serving School District 43 since 2005, and I would be honored to have the opportunity to serve for another 4 years. During my time as school trustee, I have been the trustee representative for the district PAC, the board and City of Burquitlam liaison, a member of the School District Safe Schools Advisory Committee, and a member of the Burquitlam Foundation. I have always been a voice for an education system that meets the needs of all learners, and that will continue to be my drive. Thank you. Vote for me on November.
Hello, my name is Larry Ryan. This past September, for the first time since I was 5 years old, I did not enter a school on the day after Labor Day. I'm 43 years old now, and that really bothered me. You see, I've either been a student or a teacher for my entire life. At one point, I was actually both for 2 years while I was doing my master's degree. And the thing that bothered me is that it became clear to me that our Liberal government is going to continue to erode the system for as long as we allow them to. I was already upset with what was going on at the local level, running deficits for multiple years, and I just found that with the Liberal government not standing up and funding our education system properly, allowing other people to pull up the slack, making parents put extra money into the system, and now we're even looking at corporations. I figured somebody's got to do something about it, and it might as well be me, because I spent 20 years now in the education system as a teacher, and I know what happens on a daily basis in our schools. I want to be someone who you can trust to make good decisions at the board and work with whoever is elected to do that. On November 15th, please vote for Larry Ryan.
Good evening. My name is Gail Outake. My family and I lived in Burquitlam for 25 years, and it is still very much my community. I have been your trustee for 21 years and continue to be a responsible one who is dedicated to our students and school district. I stand for public education, student success, learning and working environments that are safe, healthy, and productive. I stand for decisions based on the needs of students, even when that decision is not a popular one. I believe in nonpartisan decision-making and the value of consultation with our education partners in this community. As a board member, I support continued pressure on the Minister of Education to keep his promise to review our funding formula so our students and district receive a fair share of the education dollars. I support implementation of our Learning Without Boundaries initiatives within a balanced budget. I support initiating the remaining recommendations of our financial audit and agree with the new measures taken so far. We have a new Secretary-Treasurer, a new Finance Committee, new internal controls, staff training, and more frequent financial reporting. I would like our board to hold public forums to dialogue with our public on matters of interest or concern. I do believe the public should know more about what we do as trustees. I'd like to thank you for your past support and ask you to please re-elect me as your school trustee.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Su. I've been living in Burquitlam with my two teenager children for 17 years. I got my master's degree in science from SFU in 1997, and I have worked in health science research at UBC for 17 years. I've always been actively involved in my children's schools since they began kindergarten. Currently, I'm serving as a pack chair at my children's high school. Parents and students deserve a strong voice in our education system, and I want to be that voice. Given our district's current financial difficulties, it is everyone's duty to come forward to protect our children from suffering the consequences of choice someone else made. If elected, I will use all of my energy and ability to establish physical accountability and transparency, and ensure funding priority that directly benefits our children's education. I'm tired of seeing the political fighting at SD 43. As an independent candidate, I like to call on all the parties involved, unions, government, teachers and administrators, public and private sectors, all work together and find enough revenues so our children can get the best education we can offer. Vote for me, Zhong Su. By the way, my last name is spelled L-U-O, not L-O. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Wallace, and I'm seeking your support for re-election. My husband and I have lived in Burquitlam for 37 years, and our daughter graduated after spending 13 years in our school district. I continue to serve the community as a serve in the community as a director of the Burquitlam Foundation. I have also served on the Burquitlam Public Library Board, Girl Guide leader, and through my church have helped with the cold weather map program. For the last 5 years, I have been on a board member of the Wellspring Foundation for Education in Rwanda. 5 years ago, I sold my successful business in Burquitlam Center after owning and operating it for 15 years. I have a reputation for listening and welcoming community input in education, and I am passionate about every student having opportunities to learn and succeed. I believe parents, teachers, schools, and community play a very important role in making this happen. My priorities for the next 4 years are the best use and fairest allocation of taxpayer dollars towards a classroom and equipping students with the skills that they need in a very changing world. I have and will continue to advocate for a new and more equitable allocation of funds from the province. I want to continue working with the city to reduce costs by sharing new school and community buildings, parks, and fields. I am committed to ensuring continual improvements. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Chuck Dennison. I've done a number of things as a parent in the school system. I've been a PAC president, I've been a DPAC rep, I've been on the school planning committee, some of the things that you'll probably recognize, many of you will. And this past little while I've been the president of the district level parents group, or DPAC. Interestingly enough, I started my career as a high school teacher. But I discovered that there was more money to be made elsewhere. So I went into becoming a corporate project manager, and then more recently, a business owner. And that gives me an interesting background, a well-rounded background to serve on the Board of Trustees. I've taught, I've project managed, I've owned a business, and of course being on DPAC. Oh, thank you for helping the volume there. Now, being president of DPAC has given me one of the best backgrounds, I think, for being a trustee, because the product of education comes home to us parents every day. We see when the education system is working, we see where there are shortfalls, and we'll have some time tonight to get into that. Oh, there we are. Lots of wonderful things to say about me, and we'll carry on with that a little bit more. Thank you.
I want to start by thanking the Burquitlam Community Association for hosting tonight. My name is Jody Wickens. I live here in Burquitlam with my husband and 2 wonderful school-aged children. 4 years ago, my son entered the public education system, and I quickly began to see how our system was underserving many of its students. Shortly after, I decided to run because I was deeply disappointed by the bureaucracy in our own district and the feeling of disconnect between our board and the communities they were elected to serve. We need renewal and change in School District 43. We need trustees that have the passion, energy, and dedication to stand up for public education. We need trustees that are deeply connected to their communities, listening to them, learning about the issues, and acting to hold management accountable to solve those issues. I will be an honest, forward-thinking, competent trustee that is accountable to you. I will engage day in and day out with our teachers, students, parents, and support staff. I am excited to be a part of the change that our district desperately needs and our students deserve. On November 15th, vote for that change. Go to the very bottom of the list and elect me, Jody Wickens. Thank you.
Thank you very much.